Hey, everybody, it's David Weiner, Mr. Cashflow, and I have with me a very special guest and a new friend, Tom Murphy. Tom is a vice president at CSSI, the company that I'm working with, and he is in charge of an exciting new product that I've told some of you about called GreenZip. But I want to kind of get some more details, and I'm hearing from some of my clients with questions, and so I figured I'd come right to the source. So, Tom, tell me, what is GreenZip, first of all?
GreenZip tape is a drywall tape. It's not like any other tape that's on the market. It's a drywall tape that you apply to all your non-load bearing interior walls. And what that does is allows that drywall to be removable after it's been installed. So it's a removable, demountable, and reusable product that there's nothing like it on the market. And by having your walls be removable, it turns that wall into 5-year property. And so
Wow.
typically walls would be 27.5 year or 39-year life of depreciation. Well, this kicks forward a tremendous amount of depreciation when applying it on new construction.
Okay, so what does that translate to in terms of benefits?
The benefit is typically 5 to 10% of your construction cost and tax benefits
And that's
of the
first year,
construction cost. Yeah.
the first
So
year, the first over the first how many years?
What it does is it impacts significantly your 5 year, because that's what it does. It brings all of your interior walls into a 5-year property. So it's not just the wall, but it's the drywall, it's the paint, it's the studs, it's the electrical, it's the plumbing, and any cabinetry that's attached to that wall
So
will all
everything
get thrown into
inside the
five.
wall.
Correct.
That's
We have
crazy.
so we have $100 million project we're working on right now. And the depreciation that it kicked forward is, I think it was about 22 million. And it was a net benefit to the client of 10 million.
Oh my
So
gosh. That's great. I bet he's happy.
yes, absolutely.
And so Tom, what's your background?
So my background is primarily finance, accounting. I did forward planning and acquisitions earlier in life, as well as I did drywall. I did
Really?
drywall, yes, steel framing and TI work and demolition. So I'm very familiar with the construction side of it, and I have a pretty large construction background as well.
Fantastic. So this would benefit not only the application of it, the taxation of it, but also the demolition of it.
No, 100%. So, we just recently closed on 2 hospitals. So yes, some hospitals are nonprofit, but some are for profit. These two were for profit, so they did appreciate the tax benefits. Um, so there was that. The other thing too, we haven't mentioned yet, but it also qualifies for up to 25 lead credits as well, which is becoming a bigger thing in our world today as far as environmental friendly, reducing your carbon footprint. This drywall tape definitely does that. But in the hospital situation, uh, what's really great about a hospital application, now this works on the more walls you have, the better the benefit is for the developer. But on a hospital, they're constantly retrofitting their equipment.
Yeah.
So when you're doing demolition, and I've done demolition before, I would make everybody upset from left to right, upstairs, downstairs. I was so loud. And a lot of times demolition has to be done on the weekend because it's so loud. And so what this does, especially in the hospital environment, the tape you pull off the baseboard, and you can literally pull the tape off, and it exposes the seam perfectly. So then you can just simply unscrew your drywall panel. And what's great about the hospitals, they're always retrofitting their equipment. So if they're
Sure.
doing a retrofit, they can pull off the sheet of drywall, update whatever they need to do. And this works also in multifamily hot or any application really. If there's something wrong with like a Cat 5 wiring or electrical wiring or even plumbing, you can simply pull it off, basically noiseless. So it's quicker, it's cleaner, it's quieter. You can pull it off, fix what you need to fix, and simply put it back up.
Well, that's
And so
great.
that's the other third
I
benefit of it.
imagine too that hospitals would have a lot of stuff in the walls that, demolition plus the dust and everything from breaking out drywall.
Correct.
They don't have
Correct.
to worry about that. And all of that stuff in the walls would then be 5-year property as well.
That is correct. And so hospitals and dental offices score really high. You know, the two that we had that we just closed on, they have it was actually a pretty small footprint, but they had 5 MRI rooms. And so those rooms, those walls are extraordinarily expensive because they're made out of iron because of the radiation. And so when you put drywall over the top of those, that becomes 5-year property. So that
Fantastic.
was a significant benefit on that
Well,
one. That one, you know, on one of them, it was just a small application. Usually these are applied to projects that are 10 million or more. That's typically our starting point, but it depends on the application. This was a $4 million one, so it's smaller. But because of the MRI walls and the fact that the structure was made out of steel, their benefit was close to $1 million out of a $4 million project. So that was 25%.
I can see why this would be attractive to a building owner. Why would it like an architect be interested in this?
For the lead credits. So
Okay, so
we're working on a project now up in Los Angeles. It's a $240 million project, high rise. And in LA, starting July 1st, you have to prove to the planning department or show to them how you're reducing your carbon footprint. So this is a really great way to get your, I mean, it definitely reduces the carbon footprint in many different areas, but the architects are very excited about the 25 lead credits. I think it's 40 lead credits to qualify. Well, 25, we're getting you well on your way.
just from using GreenZip tape.
That exactly. It's like, do I grab the yellow tape or do I grab the green tape?
Amazing.
It speeds up production as well. So it's 2 times faster than using a typical bazooka gun, and it's 4 times faster than applying by hand.
Wow.
So it
That's
does
great.
speed up.
That's
Yeah.
great. So, okay, now I'm a developer and I'm building buildings for people. Why am I interested in it?
So, you know, the developer is going to be interested primarily on the tax benefits that it brings. So if
Okay.
we can front load a tremendous amount of depreciation for you in year 1, you know, with bonus depreciation, that just frees up money to do additional improvements or potentially a down payment for another piece of property. But the other thing too with a developer, which I found this oftentimes, is sometimes when you're doing your site work, you come into cost overruns, or you know,
Almost always, right?
exactly. So this is a great thing that you can put in there to mitigate your cost overruns,
Fantastic.
right? And so that works really well. And as far as a developer too, you might build a multifamily project and you might have 3 floor plans, and down the road you might see that in renting, your floor plan 1 isn't renting very well, but your floor plan 2 is. Well, you can reconfigure that really easy and reuse your drywall.
I never thought about that. That's great.
So,
That
and
is,
there's also the benefit of when they go to sell it. So if they're coming into a project and say their cost basis is 50 million and they go to sell it for 150 million, that new buyer is going to also get that benefit of having removable walls, interior walls, which will greatly benefit them on their performance as they're trying to figure out how to make it work as well.
so it stays with the property
Yeah, so
and
the
future
tape
cost
itself,
segregations can get that benefit.
yeah, the tape itself is free. We ship the tape for free. We sell a license, and what we do is we license the building, and that building will have that license for the life of that building.
Fantastic.
Anytime if they are going to do any demolition or remodeling of sorts, they just call us and we send them more tape, and that will go on for the life of that building. But there is definitely a big selling point on the sale of that building as well.
Okay, because if they reconfigure the walls, they're going to need more tape, right?
That's correct. And
And
we'll just send them more tape.
for the life of the building.
That's correct. That
That's
is correct.
amazing.
It is absolutely,
So
absolutely.
5 to 10% of the total build cost back in tax benefits.
And that's a conservative number.
Wow.
So, and the reason why I say that's conservative is, you know, on the 5% would be more something that's more of like a warehouse with a few offices. That's not going to score very high. Retail does fine, but anytime you have a tremendous amount of walls, that goes up significantly, right?
Okay.
And so, and the other thing too,
Multifamily residential would be great.
Correct. And
Um,
then the other big delta you have is the difference of what structure you're building. Are you building out of wood, steel, or concrete? So wood, obviously, you're going to have more load-bearing walls, but when you're building with concrete or steel, you have very, very few load-bearing walls. Walls you won't apply it to, say, in a steel structure is your elevators, stairwells, that kind of thing. Obviously, those aren't removable, so you wouldn't apply tape to those walls and they wouldn't qualify, but everything else does.
could they use the tape on those just for for the ease of use?
No, when this was approved by the IRS made us qualify every single tape on the market. And so when they did that, they said, yes, this is the only tape that does qualify to make a wall removable and reusable. So we got that sign off, but it is only for unique applications. So if we applied it everywhere, it wouldn't be so unique.
Got it.
So
That makes sense. That
yep,
makes sense. Plus, you know, for anybody who's listening that knows people who are building buildings, we can pay a referral fee.
correct.
And all they have to do is introduce them.
That's absolutely correct.
And we can also give them a free proposal, an estimate of what the cost would be and all that kind of stuff as well, right?
That's correct. So if this is something of interest, we just need the plans, the budget, and I do like to see the address as well, so I can get a scope of where it's at in the property, you know, what we're looking at overall.
Sure.
So those three things, the address, the budget, and the blueprints. And it takes us about a week to do our initial review. The study itself takes quite a bit longer because there's a lot more work, but it gives us a really good idea of what we can offer.
When's the best time for us to get involved and get that estimate done in the
No.
life cycle of a building before they build?
Anytime, yeah, anytime is great. So you can go, if you go in early, it's nice because then you can put our architectural specs into the plans, which is nice. And that's perfectly fine to go in at that end. We had a couple where they were literally waiting for drywall because of the tape. So we've had a turnaround time in about a week or two. They found out very late about it. They just hung the drywall. They learned about it and they said, we really want this. And we jumped in within a 2-week window.
Right.
And so we can do that. But what's comfortable as far as coming in is when they're probably finishing up rough-ins, you know, finishing up their electrical and plumbing just before they start applying the drywall. That's a good time for us to come in. But, you know, I've got projects that are scheduled for 2026. But
especially for people in California, they're going to need us in their plans before they submit their
100%.
plans. And I'm assuming that there are going to be more states that are going to require that other than just California, and probably more as we go along.
It's very typical. Any of those states, any of the larger cities, you're definitely seeing that. So you're seeing it in San Fran, you're seeing it in basically all of Southern California, you're seeing it in Chicago, up in the Northeast, you're seeing it. So a lot of the states that are on the forefront, Colorado, we got a lot of projects in Colorado. So anything that's on the forefront of being green, definitely those states are definitely going to want it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Tom, I appreciate taking the time to kind of go over all of this. It's new for us.
Yes.
It's not new for the market, though.
Yeah, it's been around for 15 years and there's over 1,000 applications.
And we've won some awards as well, right?
100%, yes. Some architectural awards and R&D awards for sure.
Can't beat that.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time with me to kind of go over all of this, give everybody a clearer picture of what it is and how it's used and who's interested in it. If you would like to get a free estimate and review on GreenZip for your project, simply give me a call, 770-224-8504. Let me know you're interested in GreenZip and we'll take it from there. I'll get Tom involved and together we'll save you a lot of money, get you some good lead credits, and make your building more available for sale when it comes time to do that. Anything else, Tom?
That's
Did I hit it pretty well?
That's
Good
perfect.
deal. Well,
That's
I appreciate it very much. Thanks
Yes.
so much for joining me, and let's get some GreenZip put all over the place.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.